This is Aaron Bland with Your Rules Fantasy Sports Your Way. And as you know, I'm going to be here throughout the summer giving you tips, tricks, advice, anything I can to make your upcoming NFL fantasy season more fun and interesting. And what I'm here to talk to you today is expanding your rosters. Now, when I started this 25 years ago, you remember this, we always had expanded rosters. And when I started looking at some of the other leagues, I saw that they were starting kind of the standard modern day, one quarterback, two running backs, two receivers, a tight end, maybe a kicker, a flex position, and a defense. And when I saw that, I just shook my head and I thought to myself, you know, they're taking 2/3 of great NFL players and sticking them on the bench for the entire season. Why would you not utilize all that talent out there? How much fun and strategy are you missing out on? So the first thing, to break that down a little, the first thing I talk about is starting two quarterbacks. And I'm amazed at how many people that I've talked to who have been playing, particularly in the last 10 years, that have never started two quarterbacks in any leagues. And I don't know why that is. Now, I can understand if you were in a 16-team league, how that could be a problem because of the lack of quarterbacks. But most people are in 8, 10, or 12-person leagues. And in any of those leagues, it really shouldn't be a problem to start two quarterbacks. Now, the problem with the one quarterback starting system, to me, is that in the pass-happy NFL, which has really come along mostly in the last 15 years, there isn't a significant amount of difference between the number 1 quarterback and the number 10 quarterback. And as a result, everybody in the league is starting a stud quarterback every week. And what in the world is the fun in that if everybody has a star quarterback? This isn't like the 90s when it was balanced a lot differently. So what people end up doing in the drafts is often waiting to rounds 3, 4, 5, 6 before they even bother to draft a quarterback, knowing that the people in front of them already have theirs, etc. Now, think if you got to start two quarterbacks, how much that changes. Quarterbacks become more valuable. You'll see people have a strategy, and I often used it myself, of taking two stud quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds, which creates two things. First of all, quarterback is your most consistent position. So having two studs is a great advantage over other people. It also takes away from the quarterback talent pool left in the draft, and the people that wait are in big trouble because there's nobody left. People sitting around and waiting in the draft to take a quarterback end up with someone like Alex Smith or Ryan Tannehill or Blake Bortles starting for them the entire year. And trust me, I can tell you that's not any fun. So that's quarterbacks. Let's move on to running backs and wide receivers. Now, in my particular league, I have started 4 running backs and 5 receivers for years. And I tell people that, and they look at me like I'm an alien. It blows their mind you can start that many players. But if you think about it, any given day in the NFL, you'll have 40 or 50 running backs that contribute and 70 plus wide receivers that can contribute. So why would you not utilize these players? Plus, remember, especially in the draft, what separates the men from the boys are the ones who can find those hidden gems and fill in slots 3, 4, and 5 on their positions. It's those diamonds in the rough that end up winning it for you in the end. And move on a little farther, what about 2 tight ends? Anybody ever heard of starting 2 tight ends? Well, it sounds crazy. It sounds insane. But it isn't if you think about it. If you go with the same logic as the quarterbacks. No one in fantasy football cares about tight ends. After the first 5 tight ends are taken, no one cares. They just grab a guy. Imagine having to start 2 tight ends. Suddenly they became more valuable. Suddenly these sleeper tight ends, who would never see the light of day in a standard league, are valuable. They could put you over the top. The possibilities are endless. And the same with the flex position. Maybe instead of requiring 2 starting tight ends, you put in a second flex position, but limit it to, say, a second tight end or a second kicker or second defense, something like that. You got to think outside the box. Make the league your own. Make your league different. Why do you want a league like everyone else? And that's where your rules comes into play. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds of options for your commissioner. And with the in-game substitution feature coming up, that's going to add to the strategy even more. So, not only that, expanded rosters, make your owners work for it. Make them do their homework. If they want to win, make them work for it. Everybody's got that guy that shows up at the draft. He's done no homework. He's looked at nothing. And he sits down and you get these small rosters and he ends up drafting a good solid roster, and it's nothing but luck. And it annoys everyone because he's done nothing. With expanded rosters, that's going to be significantly more difficult to do. So take those guys like your lazy neighbor who just comes in, doesn't even watch the games. Make those guys end up where they belong, and that's at the bottom of the standings. So, as I mentioned before, your rules coming up this year. Fantastic in-game substitution feature that's going to change everything. In terms of expanded rosters, if you're not a commissioner, go to your commissioner and say, hey, why don't we do this? Let's expand our rosters. Let's use more NFL players. Let's make this season more challenging, more interesting, more fun. Anyway, your rules. Check us out on our website. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. And I will see you later. Have a good one.